Thank you for checking out crypto.chartguys.com, the source for technical analysis in the cryptocurrency world. We are proud to announce our own crypto alert system designed to give you the most critical technical trading information possible no matter where you are. Keep your eyes on the market with mobile or email alerts for MACD crosses, RSI levels, and even inside bar alerts for dozens of coins across multiple exchanges. New features and proprietary ChartGuys indicators are already in development. Our alert system is very easy to customize and utilize, so don't hesitate to sign up for the most effective crypto trading tool on the market at crypto.chartguys.com. Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. The sun from the Keys has made me shiny today. We're going to be looking at the shorter term time frames first, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Because we are close to a break, we're very tight. And that break is likely going to occur while I'm talking, and if not, then shortly after while this is uploading. And then we'll zoom out to the longer term timeframes for a swing perspective, and then we'll check in on the alert system and some of the alerts that we're firing off today on this breakout. So one thing I want to talk about first is the psychology of what this move means today. So obviously this move has a lot to do with consensus. People have been posting charts about, this is what the price has been doing for consensus the past 3 years. That's relevant information to know, but also keep in mind that in comparison to last year, we're nowhere near the same scenario. Last year was blue sky breakout in the middle of the start of the bull surge. When you're in blue sky breakout with no resistance, you can see huge runs. So the fact that, some analysts are calling, or I don't even know if you can call them analysts, but some of the people saying, Bitcoin could go up 70% during consensus because look at what it did last year. That tells me that they don't really know what they're talking about, because in order for Bitcoin to go through all of these resistance levels and see a 70% move from where we stand right now, we need major news to be a catalyst behind it. It's not just going to happen because consensus is happening and everybody's all pumped up on Bitcoin. But what is happening right now with this move that happened today, and this move at this point is about a 5% move, what it does is it shifts the psychology of what's going on. So bulls are going to be holding their positions longer, and bears are going to be more timid to get into short positions if they're going to say, okay, well, if consensus is going on for another 2 days, and if this 5% move can come out of nowhere and happen in an hour, I want to have a bull position and I don't want to be in a bear position. So that's the psychology of what's going on, and it does favor the bulls, obviously. Where we stand right now, we're seeing healthy consolidation after the breakout. The low point of this consolidation at this point is down at 8708. Ideal for the bulls to hold this little higher low of 8730, and we need to see a bull break of 8775 and head back to the double top. 8824 is a double top to the penny here. So that's a very important resistance going forward. I'm watching the hourly exponential moving averages. They're catching up. Those are likely to hold as support, but they're not there yet. If these exponential moving averages were right near the price, I'd be a lot more comfortable that the bulls were going to see another leg up right now. But either way, it's all about this 15-minute time frame. If we lose the higher lows, we're going to be looking to pull back on the hourly down to these exponential moving averages. And if we see a bull break continuation, the next resistance we're going to be looking up at will be psychological 9,000. So inside bar on the 4-hour time frame to be watching for Bitcoin, and a break again is imminent in the short term. The good thing for the bulls is volume here in the last hour and a half certainly has favored the bulls. The consolidation was on no bear volume. Bulls trying to follow through here. So again, break is imminent in the short term. Ethereum short term, I have a position in Ethereum. We have a tightening range. Again, clear higher lows on this 15-minute time frame. So that's the time frame to be watching for this short-term action right now. Little higher low there, another higher low at 729.50, and then 725.51. And the key level of 719.40. Ethereum's hourly exponential moving averages are catching up. They're pretty close to these levels. But one thing that's important to note is Ethereum also has a double top. Its double top is up at 740 with the high of the bull break that we saw the last few days. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum broke their high of the bounce to see continuation. Ethereum has not. That doesn't necessarily mean Ethereum's weaker, because again, Ethereum yesterday ran harder than these other two names. So they're all pretty much just balancing out. The fact that Bitcoin and Litecoin broke that resistance and saw a continuation, and Ethereum did not, puts us in pretty much the same boat over the last couple of days. So again, 15-minute time frame, we're all correlated here. So if Bitcoin can see a 15-minute bull break, we'll look for Ethereum and Litecoin to follow. But if not, we're going to be looking for further consolidation. My entry on Ethereum got a fill at about 7:15, and I FOMO'd in. And the reason I was okay FOMOing in was because we were watching a bear flag on the 15-minute time frame. We saw an all-out dump and then a V-shaped recovery. So by the time we got up to 7:15, we had taken out resistance. We saw huge volume coming in. I knew consensus was just starting. I said, okay, this is either news related, something's going on. I want a piece of the action. I didn't go all in. I went with a third of my position at 7:15, and I'm still holding it to see how this little tightening pattern breaks out. And I actually added a little bit during this consolidation as well, right around 7:30. And I will exit that position if we do lose 15-minute higher lows, and I'll probably keep my earlier position a bit longer to see if this hourly time frame can consolidate healthily. I don't know if that's a word. And then see continuation after that healthy hourly consolidation. I also got some LTC position. LTC breaking out in a big way. LTC was added to another exchange. It's slipping my mind off the top of my head right now. That's a little additional catalyst, Gemini, I believe, for Litecoin. And we are looking again at 15-minute pattern, but it is more bullish here. I made an entry on this healthy 15-minute consolidation. I got in at about 148, and I exited 1/3 at 150.90, and then I got some sell orders in the 151, 152 in case we see some continuation. But Litecoin's the lead bull, and here we go testing resistance as I speak. 151.21, bulls trying to break that level for continuation, and you can see the bulls are riding exponential supports here. So hourly higher lows, or 15-minute higher lows, intact with the most recent one, 148.84 as support. And in terms of resistance, if we see a bull break and continuation, 152.80 is the next level of resistance that I'm looking at. As far as the RSI levels short term, we're not overbought. The 15-minute RSIs have consolidated, 5-minute consolidated significantly. Hourly RSI is not overbought on Bitcoin. So that is worth noting as well. We can absolutely see another leg up, but we have to see breaks of these lower highs and the bulls get some bull momentum behind it for this clear break. Right now, it's healthy consolidation, but we are definitely still in consolidation mode. So that's what we're keeping an eye on for the short-term action. As far as the longer-term action, what does this do to the daily time frame? And it gives us a higher low and a higher high. And it doesn't really look like it here. It's not clear. So you need to look at the 4-hour time frame where we pulled back. We lost the higher low pattern. We formed another higher low compared to the low of the dump. And then we broke the top of the bounce. So that is notable. The weekly time frame, as we know, we're looking for a higher low to form. This would be best case scenario. We have highlighted how 8,300 put us essentially right in the middle of this equilibrium pattern. This would be a bull flag on the weekly time frame. If the bulls can hold this low of 8,223 and then see continuation now on the daily time frame recovering, that will be very significant and will very likely favor a bull break on this equilibrium. The S&P 500 has broken its weekly equilibrium bullish. WEED for Canadian MJ has broken its weekly equilibrium bullish. Bitcoin, we're still waiting on it. Odds favor a bull break, but need to get that follow through. If you are not currently in a position and you're newer to trading, you can wait for this weekly equilibrium bull break to give a lot more clarity on direction. If we stay in a tightening range, it's a lot choppier. When you get to the apex of a equilibrium pattern, it gets to a certain point where you say, okay, the range in between the highs and the lows are not worth playing. We might as well wait for the break. For more experienced traders, that is going to occur sooner than for more inexperienced traders. Taking a step back and waiting for the equilibrium break is going to occur sooner than the experienced traders who can still make moves within the tightening range. So if you are newer, waiting for this equilibrium break, there's no shame in that. And that requires some patience. And again, it will give a lot more clarity once we do get that follow through. So daily time frame, next resistance, we do have a lack of resistance here. But keep in mind that, we have one dump day here and 3 bounce days. We still haven't made that back. So in order for this daily trend to change, we're going to have to top out wherever this bounce tops out, perhaps when consensus ends. We're going to have to pull back and form a higher low and then a higher high. If that occurs, we'll be confident our weekly new higher low is established. That would be best case scenario for the Bitcoin bulls. So see some further upside, consolidate, form a higher low, and then a higher high heading back up towards 10,000. Ethereum daily chart, certainly favoring the bulls as well. Pretty similar scenario where we have a bounce. We're going to be looking at resistance of 768. Anything under that is a lower high on the daily time frame. And again, we're going to need a higher low and a higher high on the daily to indicate that our weekly higher low is established. Ethereum is going to be trying for a bull break or a bull flag, and it's actually an inside bar last week and an inside bar this week. So we'll be watching that tightening range on Ethereum. There is a potential very bullish scenario here if this consolidation is very brief and the bulls see continuation sometime within the next, I would say within the next 3 weeks. If we get continuation, that's a weekly bull flag scenario. Litecoin on the daily time frame, same thing. We're going to bounce. We're going to have to form a lower high because we're going to be nowhere near taking back the gain or the dump from the last 6 days. Going to have to form a lower high, higher low, and then a higher high to change the trend. Weekly time frame, equilibrium being set, trying to form that higher low. Same scenario as Bitcoin essentially. So overall, bulls have the advantage on the daily time frame. As far as entering a position, these levels risk to reward is not necessarily favorable. If I were entering positions, it would be with a short-term mindset to play the consensus momentum. And other than that, I would be patiently waiting for these equilibrium patterns on the weekly time frame to play out a little bit further if I were looking for swing term positions or swing trade positions longer term. So Bitcoin's getting close here. Need to break 8775. One last check-in. Ethereum still tight, and Litecoin lead bull with explosiveness, trying to see continuation. So now to go over the alerts that went out today to signal this move. You've probably heard the adage, I don't know if adage is the right word, but volume precedes price. So these moves have been indicated by abnormal volume alerts before the price shear alerts. And we actually just made an adjustment for the price shears because they are triggering a little bit late. I mean, the price shears are good for non-news related events. I would call this a news related event just because of the consensus hype and the huge fast breakout. So we have adjusted the price shear alerts for the 15-minute time frame to trigger a bit sooner. And that's because, again, if acting on the short-term moves, obviously we don't want to see too much of a bull break before we get that signal. So here is the instance where the Bitcoin volume alert went out at 8,359. Volume often precedes price. You can see it was very low volume, and the abnormal volume alert goes out comparing the average volume of preceding timeframes. So if you have very low volume, it doesn't take a whole lot of volume to get a trigger for the bulls, which is what we saw right when the bear volume started to pick up on the bear break. And again, it's another scenario where we had a bear break and then a V-shaped recovery, which oftentimes can be a signal for a complete turnaround, which is what we got. So the abnormal volume was signaled down near the low before the breakout. The price shear definitely significantly later in terms of price, about $200, $250 after the abnormal volume alert went out. But now that we've adjusted it, that Bitcoin alert price shear would have gone off a bit sooner down here. And then again, the abnormal volume signaling the exhaustion to the upside by the bulls, that marked our temporary top on Bitcoin, getting real close to the top. Abnormal volume at the low of the move and at the high of the move. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. And Litecoin, it was the same thing. Look at the abnormal volume on Litecoin after the bear break of the bear flag and then complete 180 turnaround, breakout move. Some shorts definitely got caught here. This is a short squeeze move, and I can say that because I know that technically speaking, confirming a bear flag, shorts are going to pile in onto that, and then just they got trapped without a doubt. So the abnormal volume down at the low, the abnormal volume on the 30-minute time frame up at the high, again signaling the need for some consolidation. And this is definitely highlighting the abnormal volume as an indicator you want to be playing around with as well, because it's not necessarily a climax. You know, the 15-minute RSI may not have gotten low enough here on Litecoin to signal a climax alert, an oversold climax alert, but it's abnormal volume nonetheless. So we're going to be playing with data and watching to see how these new price shears on the 15-minute time frame, how they go off. Again, the last thing we want to do is lower the price shear criteria enough so that we can hit it and then pull back on a move. That's the last thing we want to do. We want to hit it and then see follow through. So we're adjusting that. We'll get some data on the new releases over the next week, see how that goes. And we're constantly adjusting things. Like I said, the oversold climax alerts, we're changing the RSI levels depending on whether we're in an uptrend or in a downtrend. And we are constantly adjusting things as the market conditions are always changing as well. So that's where we stand heading into this. There we go. I knew it was going to happen while we were on the video. So now we just have to break this double top for Bitcoin. We've got Ethereum trying to make it up to its high and Litecoin hitting higher highs. I've got my sell orders nicely distributed. And if you're in a bullish position right now, you're very comfortable because the 15-minute higher lows are remaining intact. And let's see if Bitcoin can get that new higher high for some more confidence. I appreciate you watching. We'll continue to check back in. Hope you continue to do good things. As far as today's do good things, it's been pouring rain and lightning, crazy thunderstorms, so I'm not leaving the house right now. But I'll have to think of something I can do online. maybe let's all just message a good friend that we haven't talked to in a while and send them a memory that we have of a fun experience. Reconnect with someone that it's been a while that you got out of touch with. And I'm definitely subject to that myself, where I let time go too long in between talking with friends because I'm a more here and now kind of person, and the internet can change that. So thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow.